This is the HomeTech Podcast for Friday, April 18th from Sarasota, Florida. I'm Seth Johnson.
From Reynoldsburg, Ohio, I'm TJ Huddleston.
And from Pickering, Ontario, I'm Gavin Campbell.
And welcome to the HomeTech Podcast, the podcast all about home technology, home innovation, and we still got tariffs, right?
All the tariffs. Well,
maybe no more.
A little less tariffs than last time we talked.
And maybe. I don't know. It seems I guess it's China is still a tariff, right?
Oh, yeah.
But except for computers from Apple and Microsoft or something like that.
The important things.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
Yeah. All the other tariffs are gone for like 90 days, though. There's still like the baseline 10% tariff or whatever on everything. But all the other tariffs are paused for 90 days because I think somebody realized that was a terrible idea.
Yeah, well, the bond markets were freaking out too. So, whoops, don't do that. You shared this what was a podcast. Well, I guess it was the New York Daily thing, the Daily podcast. I don't know. I enjoyed listening to that at some point, and then at some point I was like, man, they just really lean into this guy's weird quirks that he does. Like,
yeah,
a little.
I don't listen to all of them for that same reason.
It's not as bad as some other shows I listen to that will remain nameless that like to enter sound effects into their feed. But besides us and our smoke alarm battery, that's legit. But
that's a good one.
Yeah, that's a good one. This one was tough to listen to. I mean, it was like a small business ordered stuff from China, like some factory had stuff built in a factory in China, brought it over, and now they've got stuff coming over, and there's going to be like $500,000 in tariffs on like $130,000 worth of product.
Yeah, it was basically somebody that came up with like a baby product. It was like a baby placemat with like toys that you could attach to, keep the kids entertained. And they started off, 40% tariffs, and, it was like an extra, the product itself was like $150,000 that they were actually importing, $150,000 worth of product. And then, the 100% tariffs hit, and it was like, $300,000. Then the 140% tariffs hit, and it was like $500,000 on just that $150,000 worth of product. And, what the person was saying, and which is true, is that like it cost a ton of money to make a factory to create this stuff, right? And so she would need like $40 to $80 million to create this factory that can make all 7 of her products plus 2 years.
Right.
And that's like assuming that like everything just went smoothly as well. So it's just it's crazy to see the damage the tariffs are doing. And I don't think we're anywhere close to seeing the actual fallout from them. We haven't got there yet. It's going to happen.
No, I remember watching something similar to this, because you were saying that the factories don't exist really over here to make that. And you have to have like, I didn't really think about this, but like if you're making stuff for kids that kids are going to put in their mouth, you have to like make it in a factory with like hygienic factory. Like it has to be clean and has to be rated, has to have all these FDA ratings and that kind of thing. Like just to get through all that and just make that kind of factory inside your own warehouse, that's got to be expensive.
Mm-hmm.
I remember seeing some videos before all this went down, but like when they were rumbling and talking about it, it was a company that made like point of sale systems and they had like the little metal box that they attach to, and they you just sit on top of the thing, and they just got a tablet, right? And it may have like a cash box or something inside it, but it's like a rack that they basically bought from China. They had made in China. And he was saying, I came over here and we tried to make it here in the U.S. and they were like, yeah, we'll make that. That's not a problem. But you're not going to get the harsh edges ground off. You're not going to get this, like half the stuff they were doing in China for free as part of the product. You couldn't get it done in the U.S. And they were like, oh yeah, and we're not even going to powder coat it. Like you're going to have to ship after we're done here for 3 times the price. You're going to have to ship it over here and get it powder coated and grind off the rough edges and all that stuff. It was just kind of wild to see like what it looks like. I mean, we're just not set up for that kind of work anymore. We like our shopping malls, and we used to like our shopping malls. We like our, I don't know, Uber Eats and that kind of thing now.
I mean, we're good at so many other things like medical and technology in general, like software and stuff like that. I mean, we don't need to, some of the stuff we just don't need to make. I mean, I understand that
we have a service economy. I mean, that's really it. Like invest in service, right? That would be good.
The important things is we should make our own food and we should make our own technology, and I absolutely believe that. Do we need to make our own baby toys, though? I don't think so.
I think Dave Chappelle said it right when he's like, we want to wear the Nikes. We don't want to make them.
Right. Exactly.
That's true.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see what happens. I think you're right, TJ. A lot of people saw this coming. I remember there were companies that were buying up stock ahead of time, but I've seen vendors send out, price increases. I think you mentioned in the chat that one of your vendors were like, "Hey, that thing you thought you ordered, it's going to be more."
Yeah, that happened to me this morning. I just submitted a quote request, and they called me immediately. And they're like, "Oh, we got to make sure this is gonna meet the come in before the tariffs are applied to it and all that good stuff." And I was like, "That sounds like a you problem, not a me problem, because the price is right there."
Right. Well, I know that like Cedia and a number of places, I see Pro, I've seen it written a couple of times. So like, make sure in your contracts you have these pricing, like random price increases that may come out of it.
Yep.
If you don't, then you could get stuck with like paying extra money for something and losing on the margin, or in the case of baby toys, and maybe not having any margin at all. That was crazy.
I told this client specifically, I was like, if you'd have to give me approval by the end of this week, or I can't guarantee any pricing.
Yep. That reminds me, I got something still floating around out there. I need to check on. Hopefully it wasn't Sonance you were talking to, TJ, because I need to.
Nah, I haven't heard anything. I ordered something from them this week, but I have not heard anything. This was Turing, the cameras that I use.
Yeah, that makes sense. Well, in other good news, there is a massive solar storm heading our way. So, could be a little toasty this weekend. Who knows? The sun earlier this week burped out huge bursts of energy. And it's heading this way. So, I guess we're going to get some good northern lights if you're in the northern states. And Gavin, I don't know. Can you see the northern lights where you are? Is it dark enough?
It's too north.
How far north do you think I live? Like,
you're not that far north. But I mean, this is Alaska, Washington, Oregon, Montana, North Dakota, South Dakota. So like these are south of you in some respects.
Sometimes like through the skylight in my igloo, we can see some northern lights every now and then, but.
I was just wondering, because it does have to be pretty dark, right? It has to be like dark outside.
Yeah,
it's not something you can normally see.
Actually, was it late last year when the northern lights came really far south? And we were able to actually walk out our backyard. And I actually have pictures of the northern lights. We could see them from our backyard or the front of the house. We drove to like some dark fields, farming fields, and you got awesome views of them. But I think that was pretty much like most of North America that was seeing it. I don't know how far down these will go though.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, you where you are. I mean, you're in a real city, so it's like you're gonna have lights to compete with and everything. You have to drive out to Letterkenny basically to see them. So
not that far, but there's some farmland just 5 minutes away from us that I can go and get some nice darkness. When's it supposed to hit the earth?
It says this weekend, right? So it starts Tuesday night, so it's tonight. There you go.
Man, another excuse for gas to go up, probably.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Well, it says the strength of the light show will depend on how the Earth's magnetic field interacts with solar bursts. So, it's kind of wait and see. One thing I did notice is I guess this is a thing, and I didn't know it was a thing, but I bought a what is it called? A little flying drone thing, and just bought it off Facebook, right? And then it turns out it's too heavy. Like it's one of the big ones that I have to get a license for. So I'm like, crap. But one of the things, like there's this little app that tells you if it's okay to fly. And one of the things that it has is called KP, and it's red right now. It's like not good to fly. And I was like, well, what is this KP thing? And that's actually the magnetic interference that comes from things like this. So
that way it doesn't fall out of the sky and hit you.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of old, so that's gonna happen one of these days. But yeah, I found a good link to the aurora forecast for tonight and tomorrow night, so I will send that to you. It looks like if you are in Alaska and the Northern Territories of Canada, you will get a great show. But Gavin, not so much.
Yeah, it's a little bit north of me, so I'm not gonna get to see any of this.
Just a wee bit.
Just a wee bit.
Yeah, this actually shows. It's kind of like north and west. Like if you're in what is that out there? Edmonton, that Calgary area,
down by BC. Yeah.
You're gonna
basically
see it.
That's where you went.
Most of our provinces look like it's pretty much in the coverage. It's just when you get over to like Ontario, the lower half of Ontario is not in it because that drops lower.
Yeah, and it looks like it's basically pitched to the west anyway. Like there's more of that red zone that they're saying that you're going to see it there. So very, very neat. Huh. We'll keep an eye on the sky, Gavin. If it starts raining down fire, well, don't worry about it.
You're now the 51st.
Yeah, it's not the aura. It's us taking over. All right. Let's see. We do have a big news here. We do have Stuart, a friend of the show, Stuart Burgess, decided to pledge support $5 a month. There you go. Thank you, Stuart. Get a big shout out here on the show.
Oh, thanks, you,
Stuart. I haven't seen your name pop across in a while.
I know, it's been a while.
Good to see you.
He's got one of the best domain names, I think. Just add popcorn.
Right.
Yeah, that's.
Oh, I read it as just add porn.
No, just add popcorn, not just add porn.
The wrong podcast, Gavin.
Yeah, sorry. I was Googling it all.
Yeah, right up there with Owen in the beautiful home theater rooms.
Yeah, I totally read his domain name wrong. I thought it was like a spam or something like that,
Wow.
Well, we do want to thank him, and if you would like to help out the show, and you can get a big thank you, like Stuart did. If you do any pledge over $5 a month, gets you a big shout out here on the show. Every single, we have $1 a month too. You can do whatever I know somebody did $2 a month the other day. And I was like, $2 a month? That's crazy. But, it evens out, right? At the end of the year, I guess either way it would even out. But at the end of the year, you doubled your pledge if you do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
and even if you already have a pledge, buy one for a friend, be a good neighbor.
Yeah, that's probably what he's doing.
Yeah.
Gift one for Christmas. Or Father's Day.
We're trying to go to CES next year, so any money you give us might go to CES.
Oh yeah, we're a little behind on that, aren't we?
Well,
right now I'm poor, so I don't think it's actually going to happen.
I don't think I'm going to cross the border at this time because they're allowed to search our phones now, and I'm afraid.
I just got to bring a burner like you're going to China.
Get a burner, come on. Yeah.
I know.
You probably shouldn't anyway.
I wonder how Infocom's going to go. I just signed up for that today just because it's in Orlando. And that'll be an interesting show if there's not anybody from China there.
If there's nobody from China trying to get you to go to Hong Kong.
Yeah, I wouldn't be able to buy another one of these TVs. I mean, this thing would be like $30,000 with tariff on it, I guess.
Last time I went, it was like 3 years ago or something, and some guy came up to me. He's like trying to get me to go to some trade show in China, and I was like, no, I can't do that.
Well, if you we do want to thank everyone who does support the show also, but if you don't know about how to support the show, you can go to the Patreon page. It's over at HomeTech.fm/support, and you can learn there exactly how it all works. $1 a month, $2 a month, $5, it doesn't matter. You can type in whatever you want. We have people that type in a lot more, and we're very thankful they do that. So
give us $20 a month if you want.
Yeah, I mean, just all out. It's still even at the end of the year if you do that. I don't know why my math.
Everything's even. Don't give an odd number. If you give an odd number, we're giving you a refund immediately.
It comes back. No odd numbers. Anyway, if you want to help with the show but can't support financially, we understand it. Just appreciate a good review, like 5 stars on iTunes or whatever podcast app you're listening in. Just, give it a thumbs up. Guys, I did notice this the other day. We actually get comments on Spotify.
They have comments on Spotify?
They have comments? You have polls that you can
Who did I upset now?
Well, the problem is I never log in there. So if you're listening on Spotify, which evidently there are quite a few people that do, and in the fair hundreds, I guess, and there are people that comment over time and ask questions. I did not know that they had anything in there. So, yeah, sorry about that. If you have a question though, feel free to shoot it over to feedback@HomeTech.fm. We're guaranteed mostly to see it and read it there. So all that to say is we've got a fair amount of news tonight. Looks like there's
do we?
There's one HomeTech headline. So what do you guys say we jump in?
Let's do it.
All right, let's keep this streak alive, guys. Sonos has announced a significant change to its board of directors with Hugo Barra replacing Mike Volpe. Barra is a seasoned technologist, brings a robust background in technology and product development, having held pivotal roles at Meta, Xiaomi, and Google. His expertise includes leading the Android ecosystem development and overseeing Oculus VR at Meta. So a pretty big name coming in over on the board of directors at Sonos. So he's currently a co-founder and head of product at /dev/agents. Wow, that's really, really geeky. Focusing on a next generation operating system for AI agents. Anyway, I don't know. Press release whatever, get Sonos back in the news in a positive light, right? This is some leadership that can come in and maybe make a difference for them. And it's a big name. I think they needed a big name. They needed somebody big to come in and say, hey, I support this product. So
yeah, especially somebody that's been in the mobile space, right? Because like it or not, Sonos is basically a mobile company at this point because you have to use the app to control it. You can use your voice if you want to, but you still have to use the app to set it up and manage it and everything else. And so at the end of the day, Sonos is a software company that just makes speakers, and it makes sense to get people in there that know about the software side of things. I really haven't followed Hugo much recently at all, but I remember a little bit during his tenure at Android, and arguably made Android kind of what it is today with what he did when he was there. So I think that overall this is a good direction for Sonos to go into. It seems like they're actually trying to get competent people in there, which is always a good sign.
I'm happy. And I know Gavin's happy that we kept the streak alive.
Yeah, I was going to keep the streak alive when we get into the projects anyway.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
But I like what TJ said is that, they're bringing in competent people. They're switching things up, bringing in people that can do what we have to do to make this successful.
Well, he's just on the board, but at least he can give good advice.
Yeah, exactly.
And not their current CEO or interim CEO came from the board as well. So it's not like you can pick from that talent pool when you want to, but when it's available. But at least in an ideal situation, you get a good advice and direction from the board when you have competent people like that in. So there you go.
Yeah.
Hey, I wonder if Sonos is going to get AI now. I mean, that's what it needs.
I want VR Sonos.
AI headphones.
I want to see my Sonos.
So they introduced that Sonos chat integration a while ago, the Hey Sonos.
Yeah.
Right? I wonder if anyone still even uses that, though.
I use that occasionally.
Occasionally?
Isn't it just controls? It doesn't really go deep.
Yeah, it doesn't really do anything besides control Sonos. So you can have it turn on the the enhanced speech mode or nighttime mode or whatever. The only thing I really use it for is grouping my speakers, though.
Oh, okay.
So we have Home Assistant that automatically groups everything for us as we walk around, but occasionally it doesn't work. Home Assistant isn't perfect, and I just say, "Hey, Sonos," and group speakers together, and it does it. So. But yeah, that's all I use it for. I think it would be used more if they made it do more things, but it literally just controls your Sonos speakers, and your Sonos speakers do 5 things. So
yeah, exactly.
I think that's a good thing. Just to have a very specialized one-off thing. I mean, you could want it to do more, but
yeah. Well, I mean, I feel like I just wanted to tell me the weather or something, or I don't know, something basic. It doesn't have to tie into Home Assistant, but answer some basic questions or something.
All right, well. All of the link and topic we discussed tonight can be found over in our show note.
And if we talk about Sonos for a 12th week in a row, I'll get a Sonos Ace pair of headphones tattooed on my arm.
I think as well. I mean, have we? That can be found in the show note over at HomeTech.fm/524. All right. Pick of the week is kind of funny this week. I guess it's audio related, right?
Yeah.
I saw this pop up over the last couple of days over the weekend, and somebody, this is great. Somebody has hacked Silicon Valley crosswalks to spoof Mark Zuckerberg and Elon Musk. And man, so these crosswalks you walk up to and you press the button and it's got this guy's voice that goes, wait, like those. They've got the speaker in them. Well, I guess somebody in the area has decided to reprogram them. And they have it's probably AI created voice impersonations. I mean, they sound pretty close of Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg. It says, one of them says, "Hi, this is Elon Musk. Welcome to Palo Alto, the home of Tesla engineering. They say money can't buy happiness. And yeah, I guess that's true. God knows I've tried. But it can buy a Cybertruck. And that's pretty sick, right?" So... it goes on. There's some expletives in this. I'm not going to continue reading, but this is great. This is something that puts a smile on a lot of people's face. People keep saying cancer is bad. Have you ever tried being a cancer? It's awesome. Guarantee that's a college student that did this. So it's great.
Yeah, so this is pretty funny. It reminds me of the good old days of computers, the times before I was born. But People just hacking in the stuff and making them do other things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the workforce back then was very different. We used to pull pranks on each other all the time, and nobody got fired for it. Everyone had a good laugh, and nowadays it's not the same.
That's why you work at home now, Gavin.
Yeah, exactly. We had there were days when we went in and we put a little piece of tape over everyone's network cable and we watched them, sit there and try and diagnose. They'd pull out the network cable. They still couldn't see the tape and they'd put it back in. And then the best part is that we put little pieces of tape over the network cables in the extra network cables box. So when they went and swapped their network cable, they'd come back and they'd still have a network cable with tape on it. It took us a bit of time to build up, but I mean, it was so worth it to watch them troubleshooting their computer.
He's banned from the office is what I've learned.
No, the best, I think the best one ever though was, I don't know if you guys remember if this was before your time, but there was something that was going around in everybody's email and you'd click on it and it would turn up the speakers on your computer because you used to have those built-in speakers, no volume control, they were built in. It would turn it up to max and yell out, "Hey everybody, I'm watching porn over here."
I remember that.
And I was in work that day, and for pretty much more than half of the day, every couple minutes, you heard it built up from someone's computer. And it was just, and then we even modified one guy's login, his auto exec bad at that time, so that when he started up his computer, it automatically did it to him. And he got so pissed off at us, but we were dying laughing. Things like that were fun back then, Huh. Now we can't get away with anything.
No, looks like this has already been removed. It started being removed on Saturday. So yeah. It's got a lot of video views on TikTok, which I thought was funny. So good job, whoever did that.
Yeah.
Keep up the good work. It's very entertaining when people hack technology to have fun. So there you go.
Yeah, it's not just an ad or a Bitcoin or something like that. When they're just doing it to have some fun, I can laugh at that.
Yeah, nothing nefarious.
Yeah.
And somebody got paid to correct it. So
yeah, there you go.
It's a win-win for everybody. Trickle-down economics.
I'm actually surprised there was enough memory in those devices to hold that long audio. Like, you would figure it would just have enough memory to hold, wait. But it held a whole speech in there. So they
maybe it's got to say more or other situations, in other languages.
Maybe it can be part of like an emergency broadcast system.
Oh yeah.
No.
Hurry up and cross! There's a hurricane. Ignore the crosswalk sign.
The light's yellow. Run.
You can make it. No wait. No wait. Oh man. Good stuff. We'll put a link to it. It's got a couple of the videos in this article we'll link to. But yeah, fun stuff. If you have any feedback, questions, comments, great hacks for the week, give us a shout. Our email address is feedback@HomeTech.fm, or you can go to HomeTech.fm/feedback and fill out the online form. All right, project updates. Home Assistant State of the Open Home 2025 came out. Gavin's got notes. We do want to give a shout out to our friends over at Apollo Automation. They were featured there in the State of the Home, and kind of went over their recent Works with Home Assistant certification program thing that they get. So yeah, good for them. But yeah, Gavin, what's going on in Home Assistant for 2025? What are they doing? You're the Voice is gone. What are they doing?
This was a long presentation. I think it was about 3 hours long.
3 hours long.
Yeah,
I looked at the time and I was like, I can't do this.
Yeah, I was actually doing my taxes. Like at the beginning, I started my taxes, and by the time it was done, I was done my taxes. So I used the time wisely while I was watching it. But to be honest, most of it, they went over stuff they had already accomplished, stuff they've done in the last year. Some interesting things. They shifted all their employees. They now work to the Open Home Foundation. They don't work directly for Nabu Casa. I guess this is an internal thing. I can't remember why they said they did this. Basically, it saves the Open Home Foundation more money so they can spend that money on other stuff because now they don't have to pay Nabu Casa for the employees or something like that. But for us, the end user, nothing changes. One interesting thing they announced is they now have over 2 million Home Assistant installations, right? They pretty much doubled since last year. So this kind of shows you how fast Home Assistant is growing, and that's pretty amazing to see. If you're going to watch the video and you just want to jump to the roadmap, it's about 15 minutes a long section where they just talk about things they are going to be working on. To be honest, I still don't know what they were talking about. It was a little confusing. They were talking about, home approval factor. Okay, I got that. They want to simplify the setup, simplify the maintenance, and make it easier for others, non-techies to use. Okay, I get that. But when they started going into the collective intelligence and the smart home and stuff, I'm like, okay, I kind of get what you're seeing, but let's see where this goes. And I guess they will be releasing more information about this going forward. They were talking about gathering context and data. And context is like you'd have a device like a fridge or a stove or something that has multiple sensors in it, but they want to know all those sensors are tied to that device, that stove, so that when you ask what the temperature in the room is, the temperature sensor in that stove is not included in that.
That would be context.
Bad. Yeah, no, what they're saying is really good, but how they're going to go around doing this, they were talking about making a database, which I'm like, this sounds like such a Seth project. They're going to make some kind of device database that then they log all the context around all the devices and using the community and stuff. So I'm sure we will get more information about that going in the near future. But they talked about like using this kind of information, you can automate the automations. So now, instead of having to create automations, everyone has to go in and create their own automations. They could just click a checkbox for a good night automation, and it knows the context of your home and the devices. It knows what to open, what to close, what lights should be on or off, and it will be able to, automate creating the automations, which kind of makes sense too, right? So,
yep.
The stuff they're talking about really look good. You just gotta, don't expect it to be here tomorrow, but it's just, something they're working towards. And then they did mention, I think we mentioned this before, they were working on a Z-Wave antenna. So they're still in the hardware space, and we expect them to come with a Z-Wave antenna. And one thing I've been looking at is there's these, I don't know if you guys have seen the Zigbee antennas, not made by Home Assistant, but they're PoE Zigbee antennas.
Yeah, I've seen a couple of those.
From like Sonos.
Yeah, it's not Sonos. There was another SM Lite or something like that. And you can basically just run a PoE a connection to it and put it anywhere in your house, and that's where you can centralize your antenna.
It's not an antenna. It's like a hub that has an antenna, but it's like all in one and PoE powered, right?
Yes, exactly. And then you can connect that to Home Assistant. I was looking for one that's a Z-Wave version of it. I don't know why somebody doesn't make a Z-Wave version of it, but that would be cool too, because then you can centralize your Z-Wave antenna as well, or other things like that. It makes so much sense why they did that. So, if anyone knows of a Z-Wave version to that, let me know if it works well. I want Z-Wave 800 type device. I don't want to have to solder or build anything. I just want a pre-built unit like that one. So,
yeah, those look cool.
Yeah. But that sums up pretty much the whole state of the open home for this year. And yeah, it's a long presentation. Like I said, if you have to do your taxes or something, put it on in the background. If you only want to watch one piece of it, jump to the roadmap part of it if you've been following Home Assistant, and enjoy.
Here's one that has it's a kit that you can get that has an antenna, and it looks like a 3D printed case, if that's what you want.
I don't want to build anything. I just want a pre-built one. No, I said that.
Yeah, come on, Seth.
Do you not pay attention to what I say?
Seth can't even put a TV up. He's not going to build anything.
That's true, too. Yeah.
Don't listen to him.
Exactly.
No, I think it's got everything you wanted, and 3D printed case that you can get in black, dark blue, white, light blue.
Okay, tell you what, you build it and put it together and then ship it to me.
And then there'll be more tariffs on it.
Yeah,
Gavin. That makes no sense.
No.
It's $6,000.
No, do it soon. Oh, well, by the time you get it done, the tariffs will have been 100%.
We need an IKEA of automation where you just build your own stuff.
This thing...
Wait, that's ESPN.
This thing, so just so you know, this thing requires a Raspberry 7 Pro Z-Wave plug-on module for Raspberry Pi US frequency. Great for DIY smart home, compatible with Z-Wave Home Assistant. This thing is $100. I don't think I'm going this direct. No. That's expensive.
All right. So if anyone knows of a Z-Wave version of a PoE device,
Come on, Silicon Labs, get your act together.
I know. It's a great idea. I don't know why they don't have one.
There is also a dual device, it looks like, that has both Zigbee and Z-Wave for $128.
Yep. No, there's the same company that makes the PoE version. There's Zigbee and Thread. They just released one. So it's 2-in-1, but there's no Z-Wave.
This has got a Z-Wave 800 and a Zigbee 3.0 all in one box. It's clear though, Gavin. Sorry, you'll have to print a different case for it or something. I don't know.
Share me the link anyway. Who knows?
I saw it. It's on eBay. There's in 9 carts, but $128 if you want that. Or you can buy 4 and get them for $108 each. So it's PoE powered though. There you go.
PoE Zigbee Z-Wave.
I think it's what you want.
And the first thing on my list is Control 4.
Control 4 for what?
I don't know. I look for PoE Zigbee Z-Wave and it brings up Control 4 controller.
Oh, yeah. You know, so.
Share me the link you see. I don't see this.
I'll put it in the show notes. I'll put it in the show notes.
The one that's $200 Canadian plus $42 shipping.
No, it's $100, $100.
It's $130.
US.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I hate to break it to you. The other one I found would probably be $300 Canadian. So,
yeah.
Sorry. I can't do anything about these tariffs. All right. Can't do anything about them. Is what it is. So yeah, good for Home Assistant. I will give you an update on my Home Assistant project. I was showing you guys before. Home Assistant 95 is well on its way. Got the start menu done. I kind of want to tweak it a little bit better. But yeah, I've got a little devices. I can see all my devices. I can control some lights. Can turn them off. Can't turn them on. Can turn them on. Can't turn them off. That kind of thing. But yeah, I think it's coming along great. Looks just like Windows 95.
I mean, it's better than the hot dog theme. That's all I got to say. So I'm happy that you're spending your time on this instead of mounting your TV, and you're not spending it on the hot dog theme. So we're good there.
Well, he has themes, TJ. You can turn the hot dog theme on.
Seth. No, I was trying to give you the benefit of the doubt.
No, nothing there. Nothing there. I love how it has like binary sensors 40, and I can scroll and scroll and scroll and see the state of all these sensors here. Well, I'm going to make all this better, so plan on seeing some pretty stuff next week. We're going to have some nice icons, Windows 95 style. Got all sorts of good stuff to bring to the table on this. So one of these days, I'll release it. You guys can play with it too. That should be fun. Anyway, that's all I have for my projects.
So no TV still? What's going on with the TV, Seth? I mean, you got to give the listeners an update on the TV.
Come on, TJ. They don't want to know about the TV.
No, they want to know about the TV. Okay, I just want to know about the TV. So what's the holdup at this point, Seth? Because you got the new fancy Switch.
Mm-hmm.
It's doing video stuff now. You got my new soundbar. Got my new bracket. What's the holdup?
The only thing we've noticed recently is we were playing the PlayStation 4 on it, which we haven't played in a long time. And I don't know. Have you ever had a PlayStation 4?
No.
You have one? Well, they sound like a vacuum cleaner at some point when they've been running for a while. And I think it gets too hot and the sound's cutting out. I'm hoping it's not anything related to the TV or how the TV is processed and everything, process the audio and sends it to the soundbar, because that would be a problem. Because so there's still a punch list. I just haven't gotten to it. So fixing the sound issue. All my TVs have sound now, so that's good.
You could do that with the TV mounted though. So I'm not really sure
What?
So what's...
What are you talking about?
Oh, man.
I just haven't gotten to it, DJ. That's all.
Oh,
That's
okay.
all.
Okay, just making sure. I just want to hear you say it. So
I kind of like going on.
just whisper those sweet nothings.
Gavin's like, yes, I'm going to win this. Hold out.
There was a time I thought I was going to lose, and then Seth just brought me right back into the game.
That's what I get for being generous. Usually I'm not so generous, but I was like, I'm feeling good. Seth is definitely going to get this working.
I ordered another Just Add Power encoder thing, because if I can't if I can't clean out the PlayStation and make it quieter, then supposedly dust, you can clear the dust out and make it quieter, but I don't know. We'll see.
You probably put a Noctua fan in there.
Well, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah. I want to put it somewhere else, and see if it can live somewhere else, and then I can just encode it and put it on the network and call it a day. So it doesn't have to be there. It can be in a noisy closet with all the noisy other hot equipment and do its thing in there. So yeah, we'll see. That's all I got. Looks like Gavin. Gavin, what are you doing? What's going on here? What is this purchase? What did you do?
I finally got my hands on the Sonos Ace headphones. Woo! I lost so many of the auctions on eBay, and then I finally won one. And you know what? I saved quite a bit of money. I got it for almost just over half the amount, so that's good. And it was brand new, everything in box, looked great. So they arrived this week. And so I'm just going to give you a high level, my review. I've been using them this week. I'm actually using them right now, the podcast on, and it's pretty good. Sound quality wise,
good. Nice and slim.
I know. Sound quality wise, I'm not an expert in sound quality, so I'm not going to give you my review. They work, I hear stuff,
That's good. You nailed it, Sonos.
Audio. Done. All right, good. There we go. There's
makes
highs,
noise.
there's lows, there's bass. Yeah, I'm happy.
There's highs, there's lows. It's not Bose.
Yeah, I'm not gonna try to be a sound expert or anything and compare it, because some people will go into weird things about that, but it works. All right. Now, what I do like, it works with the beams. I have beams 1, 2. It works with the Ray. It works with the Arc. I like that. It works with all my devices. Great. What I love is that it's set up now so that I can just sit down in front of any of my TVs, because I have beams and Array on all of them, and I could just press the button on the side and it will automatically switch over the audio from the TV. It knows it because it picks up the TV you're closest to. Right. So if I sit down in my living room, I just press the button, my living room TV pops over. It's really nice how that works. So when I don't want to bother anybody at night, just sit down, press the button. Now in my headphones, works great. You can even set it up so that as you turn your head, the audio, what do they call it? Spatial audio. It kind of like moves so that it sounds like it's coming from the direction of the TV, no matter which way you're facing. That's kind of cool, but it's also kind of annoying. So I kind of turned it off. You can power it while you're using it. Not every headphone loves this, but does this. But, if it's running low on battery, I could just plug it in and still be able to use it while it charges. It comes with the headphone jacks too. Just the small one though. I need to find an adapter for the big one. You can pair it to multiple devices. So right now it's paired to my phone and my computer at the same time. And I can switch back and forth easily. So that's pretty cool, right? And that's what I like about it. They're comfortable, et cetera, nice color. Yay. Now what I didn't like about them, they were expensive. If you're going to buy these things brand new, they're way overpriced for what they are. And that's why I went the eBay route, is because I couldn't justify spending what they're charging brand new for these things, especially when at that price, I expect them to work beautifully. They don't. Right out of the box, so they're very expensive.
Like what? Wait, they don't work. What do you mean?
Well,
go into that.
I expect the setup to be flawless, but it's not.
Okay,
right. Yeah. And this is where I started. It took me way too long to get these things set up, so. I had to do a lot of Googling to try and figure this stuff out sometimes. But one of the things is, recently I talked about how I switched all my Sonos over to Wi-Fi, to Ethernet. I hardwired everything. Well, apparently to use these, you got to be on Wi-Fi now. Right. So now I had to go and undo some of the things. But you think just pulling out the Ethernet port out of that beam would switch it over to Wi-Fi? No, it was still like, I don't know, it wasn't picking up the Wi-Fi. And then I went through the app and I tried to reset the Wi-Fi and get it over the Wi-Fi. The only way I could get it to switch over to Wi-Fi was then to totally factory reset each of the beams. And then they showed up on Wi-Fi. And then whenever I did the audio transfer, it worked. Now, the part that was driving me mad is before I did all this stuff, I was able to configure the headphones with the beam and everything like that and trigger the transfer. And it would just fail. But it wouldn't tell you, oh, it's failing because your beams are not on Wi-Fi or whatever. It would just say failed to transfer. Why would you even let me set up everything? In a configuration that's not going to work. So, after a while, I ended up finding something that mentioned it must be on Wi-Fi. And so I switched it all over. But I did plug all the Ethernet ports back in, and it still works on some of the devices. They switch back to Ethernet, but one of them's still on Wi-Fi, but it still works on everything. So I'm going to see how I'm going to suffer with this. Hopefully, I did upgrade my Wi-Fi network, so hopefully that also helps with the response times I was having before as well, too. So I don't know if I'm going to suffer or not. We will see as I use them more often. Maybe while I'm watching the basketball games tonight, we'll see. But to me, the setup experience was not the nicest experience. Constantly had to look up, Reddit threads and how other issues people are having. And even now, just before the show, I was trying to get to that little status page. You can go to like one of your speaker IP addresses and see a little status page with the network matrix. Well, now I'm getting a 403 error. So I'm like, did something change once I added these? Because I was looking at this like yesterday and now it stopped working. So I'm like, nothing's changed. We will see. I'll have to troubleshoot that now, but that's going to be fun.
Just constantly broken. That's the world of Sonos now.
Yeah, and that's the pain. I know, TJ. That's the pain you were having too. Is like I shouldn't have to fight with these things, and yeah, I agree. It was, but now everything's set up. It's working, and my final verdict is I really like these things. Right? I like how easy it is for me to just sit in front of my computer. I turn it on and now I'm doing the podcast, or I just turn it on and I can listen to music from my phone, or even like how easy it is, for the wife to sit in front of a TV, put them on and just press the button and it transfers from the audio from the TV. It's so simple. It works. And it sounds great, and I like these. I'm keeping them. My other headphones I had since '99. I think it was time to upgrade, so I'm good now.
Are you glad I suggested you get these Sonos headphones? You were like, I don't know.
Well, I remember when they first came out, they only worked with like the Gen 2 beams and stuff like that. Like I didn't have.
It was literally just the ARC. It was just that.
Yeah, or even just the ARC. But since they added all these other things, it's like now it makes sense to me, right?
Right.
So now I'm like because I have 3 of the sound bars, so I can go to each one of those TVs and just press the button and transfer the audio, and it's an awesome integration. Everything just works. So hopefully switching one of my devices over Wi-Fi doesn't break anything. So we will see.
Nice.
So final verdict, I like them. I like them a lot.
My favorite part was when he's like, it makes noise. There you go. Yeah. Check.
yeah. There's sound coming out of these speakers. Check. Done. They have noise cancellation. They have all that stuff. It works. Like I have Apple AirPods. I've had other headphones with noise cancellations. To me, they all just sound the same. Like, I'm not going to say this is better quality than what's the Apple version, the Apple Pro, whatever.
AirPods.
Yeah, the big ones. I'm not going to do comparisons. I don't have the big budget dollars to buy one of all of those. We all hear differently. So yeah, it makes sound and it's not annoying. Check. So I like them, I will probably revisit this review.
Would you have paid full price for them?
No, that's the whole thing. I can't justify, because full price in Canada is what, $5.99, plus tax, which will run up to like $5.70, $5.80. Like at that price, it's a little ridiculous for a pair of headphones.
Mm-hmm.
And these are going to be more or less my podcasting, TV watching headphones, right? So I don't know if I would have paid that much. But then you're looking at other headphones, equivalent headphones, and they're in those price ranges too, right? Like when you look at the Apple ones and stuff like that. But then these integrate with my setup, with my Sonos TVs and everything. So
right.
That's the main reason I'd like these, but not for full price. For full price, the wife can, sit awake in bed because she can hear me watching the TV. She'll have to suffer. and the day she complains, I'll show her the price of these headphones and let her make the decision.
Yeah.
Yeah. So honey, for $5.99 plus tax, you can have noiseless sleep while I watch TV. What do you think?
But then you drop it on her and be like, oh, actually, I got these ones for you and cheaper. So isn't that a good deal?
There you go. Yes.
That's what I do. You gotta wait till it becomes a part of the routine, and then you're like, oh, this is how much it actually cost. But I didn't pay that because I'm smarter than that.
Exactly. eBay auctions, It took me a while, but I got it.
Well, I guess we were going to keep the streak alive no matter what tonight. So
yeah,
congratulations.
Right. Anytime we run out of a Sonos story, just ask me what I think about my headphones.
Yeah.
After a couple weeks of usage, because, I've only had them for like less than a week now.
That's kind of something you said earlier, kind of like made me like think about this. there'll be a time like that these don't work anymore, and your other headphones worked since what 1999.
Yeah, exactly. That's true too. Well, no, the good thing with these though is they also have an audio plug.
Mm-hmm.
So even if like whatever you're thinking, the software they come out with their next gen software or sunset these,
Sonos dies next month.
I can technically should be able to still plug in the USB-C adapter right into an audio jack and be able to listen to it. Hopefully, I would think.
That assumes the electronics inside work, right? That's what kind of I'm getting at. Like the other ones were very analog.
Seth can't even get his TV up, so he doesn't need to be all doom and gloom right now.
Do you want me to return these? Like,
no. Because I mean, well, maybe they don't work that way. Because the ones I'm wearing now are the Bose style ones, and they don't even turn on. Like the electronics don't even work if you have it plugged in hardwired. So maybe it works that way. I don't know.
No, I still get noise cancellation. But yeah, that's a good point. I'd have to plug it in and see if it still.
I mean, I think a lot of the newer headphones are in the same situation, like Beats and the Apple ones as well. Like they work kind of the same. So
yeah.
These are older headphones that were kind of predated all the fancy spatial audio features and that kind of thing. So,
but that is a good point. Like if the battery died, do the headphones not work anymore?
I don't know.
I have to check that because you could be on a long flight and then all of a sudden your battery dies and you're gonna lose music.
Yeah, but they should be big enough to cover most flights. I think. Like you probably get a decent amount of time on them. I don't know. I think they're a cool product. Like you said, the full price, I wouldn't do that. So.
Yeah, it's way too expensive. Like I think this is one of the products that I know Sonos dropped some prices on some stuff recently. I think if they dropped the price on this, they would get they'd get a lot of sales out of it.
Yeah.
I think it's just overpriced.
All right. Well, best of luck, Sonos. And yeah, I'm curious in 6 months' time, like how good they're still working for you. Because,
Oh, trust me, you'll hear from me next week. You'll probably hear from me next week.
Yeah, you use them every week. So
you'll be listening to headphones still. Seth won't be watching his TV yet.
Yeah, exactly.
We're watching the TV. I mean, it's working. It's working okay. It's working fine. It's working fine, DJ. It's fine.
Everything's fine.
Tells you we were playing video games on it. They're like, there's stuff happening. So.
How are you? Never mind. I don't want to know.
What?
You just have it leaned up against like a fireplace or something? You're just like,
what? The TV's, it's mounted on the wall.
Oh, see?
Yeah. I got it back on the wall. Like,
okay.
it's
I thought it was still on the ground or something. So.
No, it just doesn't have the cables hooked up or something, right?
No, I mean, everything is there. It's down to basically the finishing touches on programming, I think, is probably.
Oh, well, that's always anybody that's worked a construction project, they know that's the longest part.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, well, there've been a few situations. Well, I guess like since CEC, I have the CEC still turned on, and I'm using that to control a bunch of stuff. It kind of select the TV or whatever, and I'm just kind of relying on it to do the heavy lifting and being lazy with the control system. Like when you turn on the PlayStation, it kicks the TV onto the right input. So like, but the control system doesn't know that the TV did that, right? So it's kind of like one of those situations where if you need to go back to watching Apple TV after you're watching and playing the video games, and it doesn't work right. So that's all I got left to fix, which is not a big fix. I can figure that one out. One day. Today's not today. But
not this week, but
not this week.
Next show.
I'm glad you think so. All right. Well, TJ, it looks like you've got images and pictures in your card here. So, like, what have you been up to?
I've got some stuff going on. I finally got news that my vacuum has been repaired. So honestly, I forget what I talked about on this show about the vacuum.
Last we talked about it, you were mad at it.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
I don't listen to the show because it only came out tonight. Yeah, so I sent the robot vacuum in. And,
busy playing video games, TJ, clearly. I mean, come on.
I sent the robot vacuum in it went to Texas. I guess Dream has a repair shop in Texas. So I finally mailed that back to them. They charged me $64 to repair like several things. They replaced the left and right collision buffer switch plus cliff sensor assembly, the blower assembly, the top cap assembly, and the dustbin top cap. So I didn't think it was too bad for what I paid for. It only happened though because I said I was going to trash talk them on the internet. They originally, when I put the warranty claim in, they're like, "Oh, it's past the year, like your SOL." And I was like, I'm going to talk crap about you on the internet. And they're like, oh, well, here's a shipping label. Go ahead and send it right to us. So literally that's the only reason it's getting repaired. Not happy about having to pay to repair an 18-month-old vacuum. Especially like all this stuff. I mean, it's like we don't really like abuse it or anything. So, but at least I guess it was really cheap to get it fixed, and like the return time was actually pretty good. I think I'm going to get it like Monday or Tuesday next week. So it's like a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks of total like mailing out to actually receiving back.
Huh.
So I feel like that's pretty decent. I guess I can't be too mad about it. In the little work order though, it's funny because they send you the work order. And it has a little line in there and it says description, fun broken. I don't know what fun is, but it was broken.
They fixed your fun?
And I guess so.
Yeah.
You know?
Fix your fun, yeah.
They're like, this guy's house is dirty. He needs to get a vacuum fixed. So
we can watch him on the camera.
yeah, I don't know if this one has a camera or not, but not like the Ecovacs one, at least.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was funny actually. As I was packing it up, I broke the little there's a little flap that goes over the dustbin on the vacuum itself. I walked over it and I kicked it and I broke one of the hinges off. And I put like a note on there and I was like, I'm sorry I broke this as I was packing it up, and they fixed that too. So yeah. It's pretty nice. So we'll see what it looks like when I get it. I'm expecting basically a whole new vacuum. I mean, they literally had me send everything. So they had me send the base and and the vacuum and everything. And I was like, I feel like that's not necessary, but if you want me to, I guess.
For $64, that's not that bad, actually.
That's what I think. So I'm not too upset about it. It's fine with me. I just realized a couple weeks ago that my favorite hacks is broken and has been broken since January. My favorite hacks is it's for my mobile start from a van called Drone Mobile. They have a
this is your Home Assistant thing.
Yeah, they have an unofficial API. And somebody made a plugin for Home Assistant, and you can control your van or your remote start. So you can start or lock, unlock it, whatever it was. And I had it just unlock, or I had it lock in the door every night at like 9 p.m. and 11 p.m. just in case I forgot to lock the van.
But not since January.
Yep. And like a couple weeks ago or a week ago, I went out and I went to go get the van in the morning, and the door opened right up, and I was like, no, it should have locked. What's going on with that? And so I looked in the comments on the Home Assistant forum, and it was like January 31st is like, is somebody gonna fix this? I need it to work again.
Aw.
And I was like, oh man, I had no idea it was not locking my door. Luckily, we haven't had any issues around our house, so because that's a lot of money in the back of the van. So
give them to Gavin.
If that was in my neighborhood, that van would have been gone.
Yeah, the whole van would be gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was kind of annoying. I had another random beep this week.
Yes.
Not that one. It was a very faint beep. It only happened like every 30 minutes or an hour. I'll have to actually ask Emporia how long it lasts. But we couldn't figure out what it was. It went on for a week or two. Yeah, just like that. Just a little tiny beep. And so I thought it was like, I have like a little Akara gas detector in my furnace room, and I thought it was that. So I put it in the hallway, and I'm like, no, it's not that. And I just happened to be in the laundry room last night, and I heard the faint beep, but it was pretty loud. And I was like, okay, but that's where the server, that's where the rack of equipment is. So all the networking equipment. I have a Sonos speaker, and I'm thinking around.
UPS or something?
Yeah, it's like the UPS, but I know what that sounds like. And so I couldn't think of what it was. And I went to go check some energy readings for the house, and I realized it wasn't connected to my Wi-Fi. And so I connected it back to my Wi-Fi, and I haven't heard the beeping ever since then.
No device should have a beep if it's not connected to Wi-Fi.
Oh, man.
I don't want to hook mine up now.
Especially in a metal box, because it's I don't know where that's coming from.
Exactly.
It was so faint. It was very annoying. Yeah. And then I've just been working outside. I don't know how much more technology stuff I'm going to be doing right now, but it's garden time. So this week I dug 2 8x2 plots in the ground in the backyard. And so I got one of them filled with compost. I got to get the soil dug out for the other one. we messed up some of the seeds we planted, so we've had to restart those, unfortunately. But we're still getting an earlier start than last year.
How'd you mess them up?
We just didn't have, we needed to put them in like an actual greenhouse to like get them started and stuff, and we just didn't have the proper setup. But yeah, and then the front yard, which we did last year, I posted pictures of. Everything is starting to bloom, so it looks like everything that we planted last fall has survived the winter. So that's always a good sign, and it's making the house look nice.
Nice.
That's all I've got right now. So hopefully the weather keeps improving. It's been so nice here recently. It's been like in the 70s and 60s. It's been so nice to work outside. So.
Not tomorrow. Tomorrow's dropping back down for us. Like,
I know.
It sucks because I was golfing on Monday. It was beautiful. Took my jacket off and everything. And now tomorrow it's supposed to go down to 0 again.
Yeah, today here it was like extremely windy. It was like 30, 40 miles per hour wind. But then it was like a sudden like rainstorm, and it was crazy looking for like 5 minutes.
Yeah, we've had some good weather here. I did a little bit of yard maintenance. Got the old lawnmower out, cutting and doing its thing. Something's happened to parts of my yard over the winter. And this is Florida, so then this commonly happens. But like, I have like more potholes, I guess, than I had before. I don't know. Maybe they're sinkholes. Maybe they're like.
Yeah, you gotta fill them in with dirt.
Yeah,
more sand in your situation.
Yeah, put some sand in there. And yeah, the little poor lawnmower just like gets stuck on the smallest of hills. So to figure it out, one of them I know was an old like septic tank area, and when they filled it in, they like crushed a bunch of rocks and like threw it in there, and like after they clean it out, they're supposed to like put dirt in. I don't think they put dirt in. I think they put rocks in. So like all of the rocks and everything, they're just kind of like filling in there, and over time, it has to. They're going to fill up. The space is going to fill up after over time. So I think it's just like slowly sinking.
Yeah. You have to get some dirt out and level the whole yard.
Yeah. More stuff. Yeah. There's another spot in the front yard that had a tree that's gone. So that starts to rot under there, I guess. And it starts to make a hole where the tree root was.
Yeah. That caused a big issue. We have that issue in the front yard because the previous homeowner chopped down a giant tree, and now all the roots are rotting away. Yeah. And just like random parts of the yard are collapsing, or they're just like dead. Can't grow anything.
Yep. It's a big tree, and I'm sure it had a lot of roots running out from it. So we had the stump ground up, pretty far down, but that doesn't take care of what's underground. So anyway, that's fun. That's fun. I love yard work. You can tell. But I did get a bunch of little sprinkler heads for my sprinklers. So like the little drip line ones. I noticed when I turned them on the other day, they were like way too much water. It was like flooding. It's like, I probably need to cut back on this. So I only run them from like 2 minutes morning and the evening just to kind of like get the ground wet again because the plants were looking crunchy. But finally got to the sprinkler store. There's actually a sprinkler and pump store. Yeah, that's all they have. It's sprinklers and pumps and well pumps and like pipes and PVC stuff.
You have a sprinkler store.
Yeah. I thought you said whale pumps at first.
Well pumps. Well, like
I know.
A well.
Just your accent sounded like whale.
Sorry, yeah.
Whale pumps.
Texas kicking in. But yeah. Yeah, so I finally went over there, and people have been telling me about it for years, and I haven't gone over there. It was across the street today, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to go over there and see what they have. And then sure enough, they had everything I need. So
nice.
I found a new store to shop at. It's going to be expensive.
Sounds like it would be.
Yeah. I think that's going to wrap up this week. Everybody, we gave the big Patreon spiel thing at the beginning, but if you want to head over to HomeTech.fm support, you can learn how you can support us and what we're doing here and get us to CES somehow. I don't know.
$1 at a time.
$1 at a time. Yep.
Not Gavin. He's not coming to America, but that's set at the knife.
We'll virtually get him there or something. I don't know. That's right. Anyway, everybody have a great weekend, and we will see you next week.
Till next time.
Take care.
We can put Gavin on one of those bollies from Samsung. We'll just have him drive around the show floor.
A little projected image of Gavin on the floor.
iPad with my face on it.
Yes.
Little AI Gavin.
This is gas. Gas as a service.
People ask me questions. And
it's a gas app.